Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video on the Siley Stats YouTube channel, where today I finally learned how to make my little icon here start in the upper right corner, instead of having it start down here and dragging it up here every video. We're making progress on this whole YouTube thing. But regardless, other than that, we have quite a bit to talk about today. I know I said I probably wouldn't make a video this week because I didn't think there would be any state tournaments this past weekend, which was I thought was true, but apparently Florida's state tournament happened this past weekend. I'm not really sure. I thought their website said it happened the 12th, I think, but regardless, we have the results now. That's all I care about. But before we talk about any of this, of course, we need to do our random team shout out. So, congratulations to North Fort Myers from Florida for being the Florida state champion in electric vehicle. Congrats, North Fort Myers. Now, we're going to talk about some of these results. So, we're going to start with New Hampshire. Now, I talked about New Hampshire state results already, but if you remember correctly, I did not have the full results. I only had a list of the top three. So, we do have some updates here. Back when I first talked about them, I made this comment saying how Lebanon, they were the state champion for 3 years, and now Phillips Exeter Academy has beaten them. But that's not quite true. It's not really an upset because for some reason Lebanon didn't send a team to this tournament. If I show you guys this here, you will see Lebanon. They were set to go, but they did not for some reason. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I really don't know. Actually, I was gonna say like maybe a snowstorm or something blew them, not blew them off course, but like prevented them from going. But I mean, New Hampshire's pretty small, so a snowstorm around Lebanon would probably mean a snowstorm around some of these other teams. So yeah, I'm not really sure why Lebanon didn't make it to the state tournament, but regardless, Phillips Exeter Academy was able to capitalize on that lack of presence. So once again, congratulations to Phillips Exeter Academy. Now we're going to move on to talk about some new things. So first, we got Iowa. I didn't really order these in any particular order other than putting Florida last because I think it's the most interesting. Where is Iowa? Yeah, who knows the alphabet here? Because apparently I don't. Where is Iowa? It should be like right here. There we go. All right. Congratulations to Ames from Iowa for being the state champion once again. Nothing really to add here. No upsets. I predicted Ames would win. They did indeed win. They've been the state champion for who knows how long. I know they were the state champion last year. We'll see, here. Yeah, Ames state champion. We'll look at one more of these. And yeah, once again in 2022. So at least for 3 years now, 4 straight state tournaments, they've been the state champion. So congratulations to Ames. Next, we're going to talk about Rhode Island. So, Rhode Island, here we go. Once again, nothing super big to talk about here. Barrington, congratulations to Barrington for being the Rhode Island state champion once again. They are the team that I predicted to win. They did indeed win. Yeah, nothing really to note here. They were the state champion last year. And probably multiple years before that. It is worth noting how big the gap is, though, between Barrington and Cumberland and Mount Hope here. So pretty dominant in the state of Rhode Island, it looks like Barrington is. So yeah, congratulations to Barrington. Next, we're going to talk about Maine. So Maine, there is actually something interesting to talk about once I find it. Should be right here. All right, so Maine. You can see it is not highlighted blue, and that, of course, means I did not accurately predict the winner. I predicted Wayne Flette School would be the victor, but the state champion instead is Falmouth. So congratulations to Falmouth for being the Maine state champion. And there is actually some more to note here. So with the exception of 2021 and 2022, Wayne Flette, whatever, This school has been the state champion since 2013, again, with the exception of these 2 years. Um, in 2021, Falmouth did take that state champion spot from Waterville, actually, who took it from Wayne Flette the year earlier. So yeah, ever since the pandemic, Maine has gotten much more competitive, which is interesting. I'm not really sure why. I guess maybe the pandemic did quite a bit of damage to Wayne Flette's Science Olympiad program, and maybe not necessarily to some of these other ones. And it just hasn't really recovered since then. I'd believe that. But yeah, regardless, congratulations to Falmouth for being the new Maine state champion. Next, Mississippi. So Mississippi, a state we get very little data from. So yeah, you can see I did not predict this one correctly. I forget what I predicted. I might have predicted Park Lane Academy to win here, but regardless, Madison Central High School took the victory instead. Congratulations to Madison Central High School. Yeah, I don't have a comment here. Let's check real quickly though to see if oh, we have like no data here. All right, so let's do this then. Mississippi Science Olympiad. We'll just do that. Not now. Nope. That's not what we want. We want the wiki. Wiki. There we go. All right, let's check real quick here. So, looks like before, oh no, I probably predicted North Rankin High School to be the state champion. But yeah, they were not in the top two here. I'm not sure if they placed anywhere. Again, it doesn't look like they attended the state. Oh no, they did. They did right here. Northwestern, is that? Yep, Northwest Rankin. So yeah, they did attend. They did not do very well though. So I'm not really sure what happened to this school. I mean, last year they were the state champion, and this year they're down in fifth by quite a large margin too. So yeah, not really sure what happened here to Northwest Rankin, but regardless, congratulations to Madison Central High School for being the new Mississippi State champion. Now we're going to talk about some more interesting things. So I guess we'll start with Arkansas. Florida caused these changes here, so we'll talk about that last. So Arkansas sadly hosts the or I should say sadly what's the word? Has the unfortunate title of being the last place team at the 2024 national tournament. You can see here, Bentonville West did indeed get last place at the 2024 national tournament, but they did win Arkansas's state tournament again. Again, I predicted Little Rock Central would be the state champion this year. Since last year, Bentonville beat them by just 3 points, and they've been the state champion ever since 2012. So they survived the pandemic just fine. But yeah, just last year, Bentonville was able to beat them. And then this year, they didn't even send a team. I'm not really sure what happened to this school. Like I said, last year was super close, and they bombed a lot of events. I'll show you guys here. Arkansas, here we go. Whoops, that's this year. I want to show you last year. There we go. All right, so Little Rock Central, you can see that's actually 2 points, not 3 points. I apparently can't do math. Yeah. But regardless, you can see Little Rock Central, they got a lot of first places, but they bombed so many events. I mean, at a small state competition like this, bombing like disease detectives, I mean, they didn't even compete in Robot Tour, which... I mean, I guess if your school doesn't have the funding to do that, I guess that's one thing. But like at this point in time in 2024, this was the defending state champion for what, 10 years, almost maybe. I forget the year that their winning streak started, but I feel like their school district should have probably given them a little more money here, considering they again were the state champion for so long. But yeah, so Bentonville West was the only team that competed in Robot Tour, so they got an easy first place. I kind of wonder what the announcement was like for that event at the state tournament. That would have been kind of funny to watch. But regardless, I mean, even apart from Robot Tour, they bombed Scrambler, and I mean, this really Disease Detectives. There's really no excuse for this. Disease Detectives is a test event. Like you don't need money to compete in this event. You just need the time to research and learn things and take practice tests and make your note sheet. Like there's really no monetary commitment to this event, and they're out here bombing it. So really not a good performance there at all. But I mean, yeah, Little Rock Central barely lost last year, and this year didn't even send a team. So I really have no idea why. I mean, I feel like you were the state champion for so long, and you barely lost last year, and it's mainly because of events like Disease Detectives. Where you just had a really poor performance. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why they chose not to send a team this year. If anyone has any insider info, I would be more than happy to listen. But yeah, regardless, congratulations to Bentonville West for being the Arkansas state champion once again. We'll see next year. Maybe Little Rock Central will send a team. If they do, I would predict them to win. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. And last but not least, we're going to talk about Florida. So, Florida, of course, is the only state out of the ones we're talking about today that really had any impact on my top 30 here. So, Florida's state results are right here. You can see, oh goodness, how do I pronounce this? Archimedean, whatever. I'm just going to say Archimedean because that sounds cooler and also sounds more correct. But Archimedean Upper Conservancy Conservatory, yes, Archimedean Upper Conservatory was the Florida State champion, followed by Boca Raton. So congrats to those two schools for earning yourselves a seat at the national competition. So we're going to read my comment here. This isn't really an upset because I did predict Boca Raton to win. But yeah, obviously it did not go down that way. So yeah, it's not really an upset because both these teams I thought were pretty evenly matched going into states. But I'm just going to call them AUC. Beating Boca Raton by as much as they did is noteworthy. This gap is significant. There's no one event that you can exclude. There's not even two events you could exclude that would put Boca Raton ahead. So this is a pretty significant gap. And it'll be the first time since 2021 that AUC is going to nationals. So congratulations again to AUC. And the first time since 2018 they've been the state champion. Boca Raton isn't really a long-running state champion. Last year was the first time since 2019 that they were the state champs. So, yeah, I mean, Florida really is honestly probably one of the only truly competitive states in the country where there's like in the past couple years, I think we've had 3 or 4 different state champions from the state and at least that many, runner ups. So quite competitive. Florida, it looks like tends to change year after year. Yeah, for the last 7 years, the state champion has been in flux. So congratulations, AUC, for being the state champion this year and Boca Raton for being the runner up. Now we're going to talk about how this impacts state results, how this impacts my rankings. So obviously, beating Boca Raton by a significant margin like they did, AUC is going to go ahead of Boca Raton in the rankings here. And Boca Raton, likewise, is going to fall. I had Boca Raton up here in 26th. I wasn't super confident about that. In fact, anything below Walton or maybe even below Carmel here, I'm not super confident in. But yeah, Boca Raton, I had up in 26. I moved them down to 30th because of their much worse state performance. AUC is coming in here at 27th is where they're starting. I'll take a closer look at their record. I just kind of threw them in here. I looked at it and I was like, oh yeah, that seems about right. But I'll take a closer look at their record before my my official national prediction video comes out. Speaking of which, we are headed into the final weekend for state competitions. Looking ahead here, we have Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, North Carolina, Idaho, Nebraska, without a comma in between them for some reason, North Dakota, and Montana. Not Montana, that's Missouri. All having their state competitions this weekend. Of course, some of these are really, really big, important state competitions. Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, and to a lesser extent, North Carolina will, depending on how they go, have massive, massive implications for the top 10 and top 20. Pennsylvania, of course, we have Cumberland Valley competing against Harriton and Lower Merion, fighting to maintain their runner-up position. If Cumberland Valley can manage to beat either Lower Merion or Harriton, that would be very significant and definitely have some implications here. If either of those teams manage to beat Harriton, that would really change a lot here. I don't think it'll happen, but you never know. You never know. Pennsylvania is a pretty competitive state, kind of like Florida, probably to a lesser extent, though. Ohio, again, Mason and Solon, they've both kind of been in flux here in the top 4, top 5. For a while, I had them tied. So if Solon manages to beat Mason at their state competition, which isn't super unlikely, then I'll definitely have to reconsider my top 4 rankings here. Michigan, I'm going out on a little bit of a limb here and saying Troy is going to be the runner-up in Michigan. I think Novi is going to be the state champion, but really it's a 3-way race between Novi, Troy, and Pioneer. Pioneer was, I forget if they were the state champion last year or not. Let's see. I know they went to nationals and they did much better. Here we go. Much better than expected. Yes, so they were the state champion, just barely though. Novi almost beat them there. But yeah, they did much better than expected at nationals. They got 11th, if I'm not mistaken. Very strong performance there. However, this year, I mean, none of their tournament performances have really been very good. I can show you guys real quick here. Pioneer. Let's do it like this. Very unstacked. I like that. So yeah, here, their most recent tournament performance looks like it was a little bit ago. What is that? 2 months ago. Even super scored. They do get third, but getting third to, or I should say, losing to Solon isn't noteworthy. Solon, of course, is extremely competitive, but it depends on who they got third to, I guess. Centerville, Northview, or Athens. But regardless, not a super strong performance there. And from what I remember, that might actually be their best performance. Here at UMich, Pioneer, do I have them super scored? I do. They get 10th super scored. So again, not very strong there. I mean, gosh, even like, let's go to UMich real quick. Who did they get 10th to? Is this it? This looks like it. Super score. Yeah, so Pioneers in 10th. Yeah, oh goodness. Northville, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they were missing some of their best people. You never know. But I mean, if this was their A roster, yeah, losing Northville, not not a great look there. And Carmel, Munster again. I mean, the Indiana teams, they're decently competitive, I suppose, but nothing super strong. Then of course losing to Troy and Novi. So I mean, yeah, really, these two are Pioneer. Again, there's always a chance, but just looking at their results here, there's not really a really good result to point to for Pioneer. So I'm not very optimistic about their chances. But like I said, you never know. So they are, of course, still in the running. And let's see, North Carolina is the other competitive one here. Really, I mean, it's just going to depend on the gap. I mean, if this is North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics, I think is the full name. If they can somehow manage to beat Enloe, that would absolutely have some massive ramifications here, but probably very likely not going to happen. Enloe's pretty competitive this year. As you can see, I have them predicted in 12th. That might actually be a little too high. I don't remember them doing that great at MIT. I'll look at all this before I release my my national predictions. But Yeah, so this is another one to watch. Really, the gap between these two schools is really what I'm watching, um, and depending on how large that gap is, that'll dictate where these two teams fall on my predictions. And then, like I said, we just have some smaller ones here that I'll mention very briefly when they come out. Um, so yeah, I think that's going to be it for this video. Again, if you are attending the Pennsylvania State Tournament, I will be there. I'll be supervising, or not supervising, helping with entomology Division B. So if you see me outside of that room, feel free to say hi, and I will say hi back, of course. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and have a fantastic day. Bye.